Hello everyone. So today we will be we'll be covering whole chemistry GCSE paper 1. And before starting, if you want to join my free classes for science and math, GCSE or IGCSE, you can contact me on WhatsApp 9192059489. This is my WhatsApp number, or even if you put a comment, I'll see and give you the link. Okay, let's get started. Let me just erase this. Yeah. So first we'll start with mixture. So basically, um, a mixture contain more than one substance, but they are just mixed, not chemically combined. Okay. And mixture, you can think of fruit salad. You can still see separates, like fruits. It is not completely mixed, right? And mixture are of two types: homogeneous and heterogeneous. Homogeneous mixture means everything looks the same, like salt dissolved in water, right? And heterogeneous mixture, you can see the different parts like sand and water, because it is not uniformly distributed. And in homogeneous, the substance are completely mixed. Okay. Then you can see here, compound and mixture. So compounds are always homogeneous, and mixtures are, a mixture can be homogeneous and heterogeneous, but compounds are always homogeneous. Okay. Compounds have a fixed composition, but mixture don't have. You can mix any amount in case of mixture, but in compound they have fixed ratio and composition. For example, water. So if you take hydrogen two elements and oxygen one element, when they combine in this ratio, only then it will form water, right? So compounds are chemically combined, they make bonds, and mixture, they are just mixed, they are not chemically combined. Okay. So this is what you should remember. This is just because in one video we are covering all the topics, so this is just summary and just revision. It's not going to be a very detailed, but still whatever I'll be explaining, you will get that. Now, there are different methods of separating mixture. One of them is filtration. It is a purification method that can separate a mixture, which is consist of liquid and its impurities. So this is used for separating solid and liquid mixture, in which solid are insoluble in the liquid. So filtration is basically a process of separating insoluble solid from a liquid solid mixture, and it through we use here filter paper. So insoluble solid left on the filter is called residue, and the liquid that passed through the filter is called filtrate. Like this is filtrate, and here we have solid residue. For example, if you take chalk and water, so chalk will be solid residue, and water, the filtered water, will be filtrate. Okay. So this is one of the purification method that we can use to, purify. Let's see the next one. So yeah, so this is the setup for filtration. This is how the filter paper looks like. We fold it, and this is how we use it. And um, like if we take a sand and water, we can filter it out. Okay, using filter paper. Then next method is evaporation. So the process in which water convert into its vapor is called evaporation. So basically liquid convert into gaseous form. So evaporation is used for separating what? For separating a solution of a solvent and a soluble solid. So it is used for homogeneous mixture. For example, salt and water, they make a homogeneous mixture. Salt completely mix into the water, right? So the process of evaporation take place continuously till the whole water is evaporated. So for example, here we have a burner and this is a beaker, and it contain a solution of salt in water. So like the burner we keep, as the water heat, we know it will convert into gas, water vapor, and when all water is converted into vapors, only salt will be left behind. This is called evaporation. So which of the following method is used to separate salt from water? It's evaporation, right? Separation method, which is shown here, you can see there is a filter paper, so this is filtration. Now, next is compound. Compound is a pure substance which is made up of two or more kinds of elements that are chemically combined. For example, here you can see hydrogen gas. There are two hydrogen elements which are combined with a bond. So this is a compound. They are combined in a fixed ratio. Like H2 will make a hydrogen gas. If we combine three hydrogen atom, it will not make this compound. Like here you can see carbon dioxide, so carbon and oxygen, they are they are chemically bonded, right? And you can see there is a carbon oxygen, so two or more kinds of elements when they combine chemically, and they make a bond in a specific ratio, they make compound. This is again, so atoms of one element combine with atoms of other in a very specific ways. Like water will only form if we combine two hydrogen with one oxygen, and ammonia will only form if we combine one nitrogen with three hydrogen atom. Similarly for methane, so they combine in a very specific way. Now, there are different types of compound. Covalent compounds, atoms combine by sharing electrons to form molecules. So, what you have to remember is covalent, uh, they are, uh, they are formed by sharing of electron. Like you have one atom, atom 2. So, as you can see here, atom A has 7 electrons. If you count these dots, both have 7, 7. And to completely fill their shell, these atom requires total 8 electrons. Why? This make them stable, right? So to attain stability, what they will do, because they both require one, so they share their electrons, and that's how this one complete its 8 and this one completes its 8. And we know when two electrons, combine, it make a single bond. This is this sharing of electron, this interaction make a covalent bonding between these two atoms, and this is called covalent compound, which has um, covalent bonding, right? So molecule is a group of atom in which atoms are held together by sharing one or more pairs of electron. Like here H2, because this hydrogen has one electron, this hydrogen has one electron, and because in first shell, they to fill their shell completely, they need two electrons, right? They already have one, they require one more. Now they share each other's electron and they make a covalent bond. So this is again an example of covalent bonding, and this is covalent compound. Oxygen, double covalent bonding. Chlorine, again bonding. So these group of atoms in which atoms are held by sharing electrons, this is called molecule. Okay. Next is ionic compounds. So ionic compounds are formed by gaining or losing electron to form ions. Suppose we have an atom. So in atom, this is nucleus. There we have neutron and proton, and then these are electrons, right? And we know electrons, which are negatively charged particle, are their number is equal to protons, right? So that's how this becomes neutral. This is an atom, a neutral atom. But if suppose this has 7 electron, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So to become stable, to completely fill their shell, they need one more electron. This atom require one more atom, I mean electron. And let's say this atom has one electron, so it will lose this one electron, and this atom B, this is suppose A, B will gain one electron to completely fill its shell to become stable. And this is this gaining, as it gain one electron, because first suppose there were 12 and 12 electrons. Now what is happened, it has gained one electron, right? Now we have more electrons than proton, right? More negative charge. So as an atom gain or lose electron, it convert from neutral atom to ion. Okay. If this is an atom, like here this is an atom, this is sodium atom. But if it lose its electron, because electrons are equal to proton, but if it lose electron, because it is losing negative charge, so it will become positive ion. And the one which is gaining electron, like here chlorine atom is gaining electron, so it will be having more negative charge than positive, so it will convert into negative ion. So by losing and by gaining electrons, this is how ionic compounds are formed. Now um, let me just erase this. Yeah. So as you can see, when sodium is losing its negative charge, so it will become positive, and chlorine become negative. And this positive and negative, we know opposite charges attract. So there will be attraction between sodium and chlorine, and this will form ionic bond. Okay, so ionic bond is formed by gaining or losing electron. Covalent is formed by sharing electrons. So the compound that can share electrons, they are called covalent, right? And the one which lose or gain electrons, they are called ionic. As you can see, they both are sharing these electrons. So this sharing of electrons is called covalent bonding, and they form covalent compounds. Now arrangement of ions in ionic compounds. So sodium chloride is an example of ionic compound. Like sodium get positive charge and chlorine get negative charge, and this is how they form ions. By one is losing electron, other is gaining electron, and they get charge over um, their atom, and they convert into ions by atom, which is also called table salt, sodium chloride. So sodium cation and chloride anion, they are arranged in a very regular pattern, and which give them crystalline form. So in table salt, each sodium ion is surrounded by chlorine ions in a fixed number of six, like in a fixed regular pattern, and this is how it looks like. Okay. Then ionic compounds, so that's why they exist in crystalline solid, and they are easily soluble in water. So ionic compounds, when they are dissolved in water, they can show electrical conductivity because they have charge, and we know when charge move, current is generated, and that's how electricity is produced, right? Now, so yeah, this is what I was talking about. So this is neutral atom. Neutral atom is when number of electrons are equal to number of protons. Electrons are negatively charged, particle protons are positive. Suppose this atom has 13 electrons, so and 13 proton. Now if it lose one electron, so it will be having 12 electron but 13 proton. Proton will remain same, right? So because it has more positive charge, so it will become a cation, positive ion. And suppose the same atom, if it gain one electron, electron will become 14, and 14, and the protons are still 13. So now it has more negative charge than positive charge, so this will make a negative ion because it has more negative charge, which is called anion. And this is how an atom convert into ions, by losing or gaining electrons. Okay. So now let's summarize. So compounds are the pure substance which have fixed number of atoms in it. For example, water. Compounds can be mainly of two types, ionic and covalent. Ionic are formed by transfer of electron. It can be losing electron or gaining, and they exist in crystalline structure. Covalent, they are formed by sharing of electrons, and they exist as soft, solid, and liquid. Now let's talk about matter. So matter is anything that has mass and volume, that take up space, and basically it is made up of elements, and elements are made up of tiny particles which are called atoms. Atoms have protons and neutrons inside nucleus, and then electrons which revolve around them in the orbit, right? This is the structure. You can see nucleus has proton positive charge, neutron no charge, electrons are moving in their orbits which has negative charge, right? So again you can see these three particles. Now let's talk about mass number. So basically the mass of electron is very less as compared to mass of proton and neutron. So that's why we can ignore that. If we want to find the total mass of an atom, we just find the mass of nucleus. So nucleus has what? Proton and neutron. So if we just add number of neutrons and protons, we get mass number. Okay, mass is the total, atom mass, which is at the center within the nucleus. So mass takes the weight of the whole atom. Because electrons are, negligible, we can ignore them. For example, when we lift a heavy stone or rock, it means we are just lifting the protons and neutrons that we weigh. Okay. Then atomic number is just number of protons present inside the nucleus, and number of electrons, um, um, because protons or electrons are equal, so we can say any one of them. And this is how we represent element. This is the chemical symbol, like here this is carbon, and at the top we write atomic number, which is 6. That means it has 6 protons and 6 electrons. Then at the bottom we write mass number. That means this is sum of number of protons and neutron, which is 12. So if we have 6 protons and total mass number is 12, we can find neutrons, right? Neutron will be what? Mass number minus number of proton. So mass number is 12 minus 6, which is number of proton. That means number of neutrons are also 6. 12 minus 6, right? So mass number we represented with letter A, and we this is always this is the element symbol. We write it at the top, and at the bottom atomic number is written, which is number of protons. So now to find number of neutrons, because the mass number is number of protons plus number of neutrons. This is mass number A. So if we want to find neutrons, we can just subtract number of protons from total mass number to get number of neutrons. And number of proton can be also be written as can be written as atomic number, because so that's why atomic number is represented with Z. That's why Z is written. So if we subtract atomic number from mass number, this gives us number of neutrons. For example, calcium atomic number is 20, mass number is 40. So if atomic number is 20, proton is 20, electrons are also 20, right? To find neutrons, what we can do, mass number is 40, 40 minus atomic number, which is 20, and neutrons are also 20. Now these are electric charge. So atom has an equal number of protons and electrons. It has equal number of positive and negative charge, and neutrons are neutral. So proton positive, negative, and you can compare the mass here. This is negative 28, and proton is negative 24, and neutron is also same. So that's why you can see negative 28 is quite less as compared to negative 24, right? Then isotopes, they are atoms with the same atomic number but different mass number, which are called isotopes. So we know mass number is number of protons and neutron, right? And atomic number is just proton. So now this is just because of the different number of neutrons present inside the nucleus. For example, if we take hydrogen atom, it has uh, it has three isotopes: protium, deuterium, and tritium. So all of them have one proton. If you see, they have one proton here, one proton, one. What is different? There is no neutron. There is one neutron. There are two neutrons. So what is the difference between all of them? The number of neutrons are different, right? So here, because mass number is just number of protons and neutrons. So here the mass number is 1. Here mass number is 2, because neutron plus proton is mass number. Here mass number is 3. So you can see mass number is different. And why it is different? Because of number of neutrons. And atomic number is 111, because atomic number is just number of proton, which is same here in 111. So at the bottom we wrote atomic number. Okay. Now let's talk about periodic table. So in periodic table, elements are arranged by their increasing atomic number. Again, atomic number is just number of protons. So there are some groups, and which are columns, and some periods which are rows. So element in the same group, they have same number of electrons in their outer shell, and horizontal rows. So each new period represent a new electron shell, like this, then this, then these are shells or orbits. So element in the same group have similar chemical properties. Like here you can see These are alkali metals. Then we have alkaline earth. Then transition metals are these yellow one. Then these are noble gases, which are unreactive because they are stable. Their outer shell is completely filled. So on the staircase, most elements are metals, which are found on the left and the center. Here you can see, and like these are metals. And then we know the properties of metal: they conduct heat and electricity. And non-metals, they are insulators, right? So yeah, you can see here. And then group 1 are the alkali metals. They are very reactive, and reactivity increases like as we go down, because the electron is further from the nucleus and easier to lose. Because see, this is an atom, this is nucleus contain proton and neutron. Proton is positively charged, and these are the orbits in which electron is there, right, which is revolving this. Suppose like there are 8, there are 8. Okay, this is just a rough diagram. So the positive and negative charge, opposite charges, they attract, right? So what will happen here, this electron and this proton, there is attraction. And because this first electron which is in first orbit, there it will be difficult for this electron to lose because attraction is more. And the last orbit, which is also called valence orbit or valence shell, so the attraction is less here because they are far from each other. So as we go far from the proton, as we increase the distance between proton and electron, the attraction is decreasing, the force of attraction is decreasing, so it is easier for this one to lose, right? So as we are going down, number of shells are increasing, so it become easier for electron to lose this atom and react with others. Then halogens, they are non-metals, they exist as molecule, and this is in group 7. We are talking about group 7. Reactivity decreases here, harder to attract an electron into the outer shell. Okay, then group 0 is the noble gases. They are important. They are extremely unreactive, which are called inert gas, because they have full outer, a completely full outer shell. I mean, electrons are completely filled in their outer shell, like they have 8 electrons, so which make them stable, and that's why they are unreactive. Yeah, this is one of the picture of covalent bond which is formed by sharing of electrons. This you can see, this is water. So two hydrogens are there, one oxygen. So when we have to, like when we use this dot or this diagram, we use different, like here for this hydrogen, this is used, which is different color, right? So this is electron of this hydrogen, and we know hydrogen has one electron. Oxygen in its outer shell has 6 electrons. So these pink 6 electrons you can see. Now we know it require two more to become stable, to become total 8 electrons. It has 6, 6 plus 2 is 8, right? So it require two more. Now two hydrogen, both of them have one electron, so they can share, and oxygen, that's how oxygen will get 8 electron. This hydrogen has one. In first shell, two electrons can be, maximum two electrons can be there. So this hydrogen require one more, which it will take from the oxygen. It will not take, it will share actually. And that's how this hydrogen has two, this has two, this oxygen has 8, because it is sharing by two of these hydrogen atom. And that's how they all become stable, by sharing of electron, and they make covalent bonding, which is formed by sharing of electron, and this compound is called covalent compound. Again, chlorine, you can see it has 7 electron, it has 7, they both require 1 so they both share 1 electron from each other. Ammonia, this nitrogen has 5. This so 5 plus 3 is 8, right? So this will take 1 electron, it will share 1 electron from 3 hydrogen, and this will make 8. And each hydrogen atom will also share 1 electron from nitrogen atom to make it, to become stable, and that's how they get their 2 electrons. So the difference is, in ionic bonding, electrons are transferred, by they lose or gain electron atoms. And here electrons are shared in covalent bonding. At room temperature they are in solid state, and they can be in solid, liquid or gas. When they are dissolved, they are good conductor of electricity, but they are not a good conductor of electricity. They have high melting and boiling point, they have low. Then pH, which is a measure of, before this we should talk about acid. So acid is a substance that produce H plus ions, which is also called hydronium ion when they are dissolved in water. Bases are those substances which, when we dissolve them in water, they produce hydroxyl ion or OH minus ion. Like hydrochloric acid, which is HCl, if you dissolve it in water, it will convert into H plus and Cl minus. So this has H plus, so that means it is acid. If you take example of sodium hydroxide, which break into Na plus and OH minus. OH minus means it is base. Or potassium hydroxide, sulfuric acid, all of them. Now basically acid, when they react with metal they give hydrogen, and non-metal oxides, they are acidic in nature. And bases do not react with metal carbonates or when bases react with metals they produce salt and hydrogen gas, and when metal oxide react with acid it gives salt and water. So bases generally generate hydroxide ions, and hydrogen ions cannot exist alone, so it will only form when they react with a water molecule. So now let's go back to pH. So pH is the measure of nature of substance. If the substance is acidic or alkaline or basic, so pH has a value starting from 0 till 14, which identify a substance if it is acidic, neutral or alkaline. So 0 to 7, before 7 actually, if it can be 6 point something, is acidic. 7, if it is exactly 7, it is neutral. 8 till 14 is alkaline. So as we go towards 0 or 1, it is more and more acidic. Like pH of 2 is more acidic if a substance has pH 2, and let's say A has pH 2, B has pH 6. So A is more acidic than B. Okay, and as we go towards 14, substance become more and more basic. So pH of 9 means less basic, pH of 14 means more basic. Okay, neutral is 7 or 7.1, or this also is considered almost neutral. So pH is observed in everyday life, as plants and animals are very pH sensitive. They can only survive in a very narrow pH range. For example, human beings can survive from 7 to 7.8 pH. So pH of saliva decreases after eating, and if that drops highly, it causes tooth decay, which we can prevent by brushing twice a day. And then pH can be known by a pH meter, which can give us the value. It is also pH, different soils have different pH, and sometimes soil become acidic. So when we add base in acid, it give salt and water. So to neutralize acid, base is added, and this reaction, acid plus base, give us salt and water. This is called neutralization reaction. So animals and plants, they also produce acid as self defense, right? Like bees and all. Then this is electrolysis of molten ionic compounds. So we have talked about ionic compounds, like how ions are formed and how an atom convert into ion by gaining or losing electrons, right? um, so ionic compounds can conduct electricity because they have charges, and when charges flow or move, they create current. So here the molten ionic compounds, they split about they split into freely moving ions. And opposite, we know ions migrate towards the electrode with the opposite electrical charge. Like the one which is negatively charged, positive will attract towards it, and at the positive terminal, negative charged ion will attract. So opposite attraction is there. Then positively charged ions, they are migrating towards the negative electrode, and where they gain electrons and they undergo reduction. Reduction means gaining of electrons. Then negatively charged ions migrate towards the positive electrode, and where they lose electron and they undergo oxidation. So oxidation means losing electron. Losing electron means oxidation, and receiving or gaining electron means reduction. Okay, so this is how oxidation take place at the positive terminal and reduction at the negative terminal. And yeah, so this is showing electrolysis of molten ionic compound, which uses direct current to break down a liquid chemical substance, and um, like you can see which are called electrolyte into its individual constituent elements. Okay, then oxidation element that loses electrons or hydrogen or gain oxygen, they undergo oxidation, and that element is said to be oxidized. Like here, if you see magnesium has loosed electron. So after losing this make I mean, here you can see 2 plus, right? 2 plus means what? Because it has lost electron, so it will be having positive charge because it has lost negative charge. And then copper, it has 2 positive charge, and now it became copper. It is reduction because gaining of electron is called reduction. So gaining of electron or hydrogen and losing oxygen is called reduction. And here you can see this has oxygen here, right? And here we just have copper. So this is reduction, removal of oxygen, and here removal of oxygen, again reduction. You can see with iron we don't have oxygen here, right? So a reaction in which both of them take place, oxidation and reduction at the same time, is called redox reaction. Like here, if A lose electron, it is called oxidation. Okay, it will gain positive charge because it is losing negative. B is gaining electron, so it will get negative charge, and gaining electron means reduction. So this complete reaction where both of them are taking place at the same time is called redox reaction. Then reductant is a substance that undergo oxidation and that help other substance to undergo reduction. Like here zinc is losing electron, right? So this is oxidation. Okay, and here oxidant is a substance that undergo reduction and help other substance to undergo oxidation, and this is also called oxidizing agent. Like here this you can see gain it nitrogen gained electron, I mean oxygen, and you can see there we have oxygen. This is oxidation, right? But from where this oxygen is coming from, here oxygen. So what is oxidizing agent? Oxygen, right? Oxygen is going into reduction because oxygen is losing its oxygen, one of the oxygen atom, right? And here you can see it has reduced because here we have hydrogen, but it helped ammonia to gain this nitrogen to gain oxygen. So that's why it is called oxidizing agent. Then exothermic reactions are chemical reaction that release energy in the form of heat or light. So like here in a heat is given out in the surrounding in this reaction. So that's why, because heat is released into the surrounding, so it causes rise in temperature. This is how the graph looks like. So energy release because of the total energy of the product is less than the total energy of the reactant. So when product energy, you can see this is showing product energy, this energy is less than the reactant. This is reactant which is at high, this is low, right? So this much energy will be releasing to the surrounding. So because energy of product is less, so it will release its energy to be convert from reactant to product. Like if we have this reactant a this equation, a plus b c plus d, here a and b are reactants and the result formed is called product, right? So this means it takes less energy to break bonds in the reactant um, than when new bonds form in the product. That's why energy is released. Like combustion of wood. Okay, this is an example of exothermic reaction which release lot of energy as heat and light. Then neutralization reaction is also example of exothermic. Like when this is a base, this is a acid, when they react they make a salt and water and they neutralize each other. This is called neutralization reaction. So when sodium basically this reaction produce 57.2 kilojoule energy for each molecule of salt that is produced. So energy is released. So is it it is exothermic. Exo means release. Endo is when heat is absorbed in a chemical reaction. So it will cause fall in temperature because uh, uh, it is drawing in, since endothermic reaction draw in heat from their surrounding. So like photosynthesis, it takes sunlight and produce food. So it is absorbing, heat, right, or energy. Evaporation, right, we have to give heat to evaporate, right. So yeah, now, so yeah, this was it. If you have any doubt, you can WhatsApp or you can comment. I will clear it. Okay, thank you.